Okay, this reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is what I call a personal growth reading. We talk about, blocks for a situation, maybe something that you're trying to heal from, um, obstacles and fears that are keeping you from moving forward, strengths that are helping you, advice to help you further, and maybe what you don't see and where this all will take you in the near future. This is for end of June to the end of July. However, I do feel like these would be more timeless. Also, please check out your sun, moon, your other placements, whatever those are. I don't know if you're watching your sun, but yeah, look at your other placements because they could enhance this one, or you could actually resonate more with one of those. So, um, especially since these aren't as predictive as they are helpful, I'm hoping. So there you have it. I'm using Runik Tarot today. I do personal readings. Link to my websites below. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Taurus. The blocks, two cards. Um, Five of Wands, Page of Cups, obstacles and fears. The Fool and Nine of Swords. And then we have strengths, Wheel and Page of Pentacles, advice, Empress, Ace of Wands, what you don't see, strength, and where this all leads. I'm not going to tell you what that is. Moon is at the bottom of the deck. So, I mean, overall, I use the bottom of the deck as kind of like a basis, but I feel like it's a reminder too. If the moon to me is totally about, shadows being casted away differently. So things aren't always as they appear because the moonlight brings different types of shadows. And so when we look at something, it usually with the moonlight, it's usually in a shadow. So, or silhouetted, and it's not necessarily full. So we're looking at something and we don't maybe know everything that's going on. So you can kind of keep that in mind as we're going through the reading. So, the blocks themselves are the Five of Wands with the Page of Cups. Um, I feel like there is something that you feel like really has you held back, and there is anger involved here to some degree or frustration, um, but it's about handing out love. Like you, it's about caring, but you feel like you can't, right? Because the Five of Wands has you a little bit trapped. And it's frustrating. And this card specifically, she's very frustrated. And if this is something that you're really working on, I feel like, because that's why it's frustrating. The frustration comes that you feel like there's just this push pull here with this. I want to give my heart, and I don't know if this is relationship, friendship, family, yourself. It could be anything, but it is about a gift of love and caring. And what your obstacles are the Fool and the Nine of Swords. There's this part of you that's kind of, there could be a new adventure, something new out there for you, but the obstacle is these two coupled together. That the Nine of Swords talks about worrying about the future a lot of times, because that's what brings us anxiety and stress, because we don't know how something's going to turn out. And this, taking this leap is your biggest obstacle here, because I think you need to, but there is a big anxiety issue here about what's going to happen. Like the Fool is about taking a leap of faith. So this means that things aren't always planned out. They're not, they don't have a direct path. It's going, I don't know what this is going to bring, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that's your fear. That's your obstacle, is that this new thing, this thing you're thinking about, doesn't have a clear path, and you want it to be clear, but it's not, and it's bringing you anxiety, and that's holding you back. So your strengths are the Wheel and the Page of Pentacles. So know that this is probably going to happen anyway because it's fated, and that's the Wheel for you. Time moves forward, and it's going to happen, and this is a strength. So I would say, if this happens anyway, don't be stressed about it because it's probably a good thing. It's a strength. The Page of Pentacles says that you can learn anything that you choose to learn. The Page of Pentacles is literally about taking the time to really learn something inside and out, like not just surface, but really understanding it, understanding all of the cogs, all of the things. And you're able to do that. That's part of your strength, and that's part of your strength in this situation. But you have to look at the obstacle too, because that's kind of, and it's funny because the advice says, so Empress is, nurture yourself. Take some time out and nurture you if you haven't already. But the Ace of Wands is, man, grab a hold of what gives you passion. What gives you passion? And what do you want? What is that fire inside of you? Grab a hold of it. Yes, I think it's telling you to skip the fear basically because of the Fool. To me, the Ace of Wands and the Fool have a lot in common as far as cards go, because the Ace of Wands is a new beginning as well. And because it's a passionate and motivated new beginning, there's not always a clear path as well. It's not like the Ace of Swords or Ace of Pentacles where there is a clear path. This is more grabbing the bull by the horns and just going follow your passions. Follow what brings fire inside of you, that fire, that light. So I love this, but and then the Empress is, also about, it could too mean to reach out to someone that you feel can nurture what you're doing, how you're doing it. Don't be afraid to have that nurturing feeling as well. What you don't see is strength. And I feel like this really is saying what you don't see is you do have what it takes to do whatever it is, right? Because the strength is just a very quiet strength. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be physical. It is just very subtle. It reminds me a lot of the Empress, honestly, because the Empress to me, because it's like a mother type figure, nurturing, usually we would classify that as, more quiet strength. When we look at a family dynamic, it's usually, right, we have the mother and father, and this is just a general family dynamic. I'm not, everybody's dynamic is a little bit different, but, typical, or what we would, is, mother and father figure. And the mother is usually, so regardless, I don't want to, offend anybody because I'm not trying to. A family dynamic is usually someone, regardless gender, regardless mother, father, who is a little more gentle and brings the family strength in a quiet way, and brings the family together in a quiet, strong way, and then you usually have the more assertive partner or assertive parent who is the one that, kind of uses more loud strength. So that's why I feel like these two, this is more that quiet strength, that strength that's inside of you that doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be boisterous. It doesn't need to be physical. It just needs to be, this, it's a really important thing, I think. So I mean, I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but, and the reason why I'm trying to really explain it is because it's what you don't see. And it's just very knowing that that strength is within you. And even when you don't feel like you've got this, you do. But sometimes when strength is more relaxed and quiet strength, it's not as obvious. And then the outcome where this all leads is the Page of Swords. So I feel like this is kind of odd, but I feel like what's happening here in this book, in this deck, it talks about her finding the biggest, largest sword. Look at that sword, is as big as her. And although at first, when she first grabs it, she can't hardly yield it at all, like even lift it. but she wants to learn how to use the biggest sword, and so she takes a hold of the biggest sword and practices with it. The good thing is that you do become very good with this one situation. So I feel like, though, too, with this outcome and where this could lead is also a little bit of a warning that if all you want is this big thing, big sword, or whatever, that whatever that sword is for you in this situation, know that is does it have to be that? Does it have to be the biggest one? Because it's going to be a little harder to deal with. I mean, maybe it does have to be, and I'm not denying that, but it's something just to think about as you move forward and start to work through these blocks that you have. And anyway, that's where it's going. But again, this is just the first stop along the way. I like to say that because, I don't, when we do tarot readings too, that they're fluid, and this isn't the end, right? It's just the first stop along the way. And it's very important to know that. So, there you have it. I think this reading is good. I feel like that it's just kind of looking at something a little differently too, and understanding that frustration, understanding that block, and understanding the full energy of taking a leap of faith. That's kind of scary right now. But with the strength being the wheel, it's kind of going to happen. It's fated to happen, and you have behind you the means to learn, make things yours, basically, because that Page of Pentacles really can, learn and to be an expert as well. So there you have it, Taurus. This is your personal growth reading. Let me know what you think. Please hit the like button. Give me a comment. Love them all. And take care. Have a beautiful day. Thanks.